Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Sports Stove Draft Show here on the Sports Stove Media Network. Presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Promo code STOVE15 will get you 15% off your purchase. So we're going through our team-by-team kind of draft preview. How can teams turn themselves around? How can they make the most out of this year's draft? And we went through individual teams for picks 1 through 5, going through Raiders, Jets, Cardinals, Titans, Giants. Now we're going to combine 3 teams into an episode. So today we're looking at Browns, Commanders, and Saints, and each of these teams. So let's start off with pick number 6 is the Cleveland Browns. They have 2 picks in the first round. They also have pick number, 20? I don't have the right numbers next to me, but down Jacksonville's pick as well. So you've got Cleveland here, 2 first-round picks. They've got 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth, 3 fifth-round picks, a 6th-round pick, and a 7th-round pick. So opportunity here for Cleveland to get much better through the draft this season. But are they going to get better before the draft is the question. And what I mean by that is, as this recording is happening, Cleveland still does not have a head football coach. Jim Schwartz has been, there and rumored, but if they're going to hire him, why haven't they yet? Now, again, by the time this recording airs, maybe they have a coach. Maybe this is all silly banter. So I won't talk too much about the coaching situation there, but they got to get a coach. Then you look at what they have going on as well. They've got their defense is stout. I would argue that the Browns should spend all of their picks on offense this year and let the defense, any gaps they have there, be filled with free agents, and just go all in on the draft on offense this year. They've got so many different needs going on right now on their team. So greatest needs for Cleveland, I've got wide receiver, offensive line, both tackle and interior, quarterback, safety, and cornerback as well, listed as the needs that I have for Cleveland. So with their 2 picks coming at pick number 6 and pick number 24, how can they address it in the first round to make the most of it? Now, depending on how the draft plays out, pick number 6 is a perfect spot for an offensive lineman, especially if 0 offensive linemen have been selected yet. If the Browns can get the offensive lineman, this is the right spot for them. Will they get that? I don't know. Francis Mauigoa is my favorite offensive lineman currently on the board. I've got him as my number 11 player overall. Then I've got after him, I've got actually Ione, the guard out of Penn State, as my next offensive lineman. And then Spencer Fano there from Utah, the tackle, as my 3rd. So I've got on my big board, Mauigoa is at number 11. Ione is at 14. Fano is at 15. And it's too high to pick Ione at this, even though I love him at pick 6. You just can't do that. So you got to go tackle here if you're Cleveland, in my opinion, whether that's Mauigoa or Fano, whichever one you like the best. I think this is the ideal spot for offensive line. If the Cardinals surprise us and take offensive line at 3, or really if any of the top 5 teams take an offensive lineman here in the top 5 picks, I'm going somewhere different at pick 6, and I'm going to wait on offensive line till my next pick. But if no offensive linemen are off the board yet, I'm going to go offensive line here for Cleveland at 6. Then if an offensive lineman is off the board, then I'm probably looking at wide receiver at this point for Cleveland. I like the value at wide receiver, both later in the first and in the second round. I think the talent level between wide receivers, I don't think there's a massive gap necessarily. I've got 3 guys in my top tier. I have 2 guys in my top tier wide receiver, Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate. I think they could go number 4 and number 5 overall this year. Then that would leave offensive line for Cleveland. If not, Mekhi Lemon, Denzel Boston, Zachariah Branch, Casey Concepcion are all options later on in the first round there as well. Offensive linemen that are options later in the first round, Caden Proctor, Monroe Freeling from Georgia. I love Jennings Dunker. I'm interested to see how high he goes up people's boards right now. I've got him as in the 20s range for the first round. And then Ione as the guard If you could get him at 24, awesome. Love it. But I think he goes higher, probably in between 12 and 15, somewhere in that range this year as well. So those are the two biggest needs. So I think they have to be addressed in the first round. I think you have to go wide receiver and offensive line in the first round. If you're Cleveland, listen, if Caleb Downs is sitting there at 6, okay, I can live with that. If you're going to go Caleb Downs at 6, I can live with that. If an Arvell Reese or somebody like that falls, but there's not really a great need for linebacker. They've got Devin Bush, Carson Schweschinger, their rookie from this past year. So there's not a great need there. They also have Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah from 2021. So safety, if Downs is still there, sure, I like it, but I'd prefer it be an offensive lineman at 6, a wide receiver down there at 24. If things shake out weird at 24, that's a great spot for a cornerback sitting there at 24 as well, because that's where you're looking at maybe a Colton Hood that could still be there at that point. Avion Terrell could still be there as well. And so those are the guys I like at 24, but I think Cleveland has to go wide receiver, offensive line in the first round. And then the second round, you can start addressing the other needs. Cornerback could be addressed there. I wouldn't go safety at the top of the second round personally, but you could continue to go offensive line. You need to get 2 or 3 offensive linemen in this draft to really make an impact, I think, if you're Cleveland. All right, that's the Browns. Let's head in. Oh, let's talk quarterback real quick. They don't have their quarterback of the future. Say what you want. Shedeur Sanders is serviceable. He can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he's always going to be in that 25 to 32 range. So you can make improvement drastically at quarterback, but I think you have to do it through free agency this year. Cleveland should not draft a quarterback this year. They drafted 2 last year. So either play it out with those guys for this season and draft next year, or go out and get you a free agent. The coach will play a big role into that, of course, as well. All right, number 7 is the Washington Commanders. Listen, the Commanders have a first rounder here at number 7. They do not have a second or fourth. So they have a third rounder, a fifth rounder, 2 sixths, and a 7th for Washington this season. Washington's biggest needs: edge, safety, wide receiver, linebacker, and cornerback. And at pick number 7, you're going to have options coming out your ears if you're the Washington Commanders right here. So when you think about these needs that they have, edge, at pick number 7, you're going to be looking at the possibility of a David Bailey, a possibility of a Ruben Bane sitting there at the top of your list and available for you at number 7. I think the Jets and Cardinals could eliminate one of those players, but I don't think both of them. Then you're looking at Titans would be another option for edge, so maybe they go that route, as well. Giants aren't going to take an edge. The Browns don't need an edge, not to say they won't take one. They don't need one. So there's potential both edge guys are gone by 7. I don't love the next edge, Falk. I don't like him at 7. So if Bane and Bailey are gone, then that option's off the board. Caleb Downs at 7, awesome value. I love it. If he's there, take him at number 7. Good spot there. Wide receiver, you got Tate and Tyson, I think, are both off the board by here. Lemon then is your option if you like that at number 7. I think there's better value. I think you can get a solid receiver at 3. You don't need a wide receiver 1. You have that in Scary Terry. So let's not go wide receiver at number 9. If Tyson or Tate are available, I don't have a problem with wide receiver. After that, I think we need to hold off on that. Linebacker. Now you're looking at some interesting options at linebacker because you've got Arvell Reese, who should be gone by 7. Then you've got Sonny Styles. Is Sonny Styles worthy of a number 7 pick? I like Sonny Styles a lot. There is some value at linebacker later on. You're looking at round 3. Can you get the right fit at round 3? I think there's possibility of it. But the options that you're sitting at in-house, Bobby Wagner, aging, could be retiring, just getting up there in age. Frankie Louvu is fine. They drafted a kid last year in the 6th round, but I don't know. I think Sonny Styles here would be an awesome fit. I like Sonny Styles a lot. 7 is an interesting spot. Sonny Styles would be, for me, after a David Bailey, a Ruben Bane, Tyson, Tate. in those downs. He'd be after all those guys for me. And I think 8's still too rich for cornerback as well, even though they've got great need there. They drafted Trey Amos last year in the second round. They got Sanders still in the second round in 24. They still have Lattimore, but there's some issues there for sure. But again, I think if you wait till the third round on cornerback, you still have some value there too. So at 7, lots of options, depending on what happens ahead of you if you're the Commanders. But at the end of the day, you just got to get better. Free agency is going to be really important for Washington this offseason. Can they make some things happen? They used trades last year to get Laramie Tunsil. They brought in Deebo Samuel. Are they going to keep him around? Is he going to be a free agent? All those kinds of things. Zach Ertz is banged up, but you're not taking Kenyon Sadiq at number 7, not if you're sane at the very least. So, they've got some things to work on. They took Connerly in the first round last year. So the offensive line, it needs to get better. Personally, I believe they need a guard. But again, at number 7, I love Ione. You take Ione there. It's be a bold move. I don't see it happening. I wouldn't take Ione at 7 personally either. So Washington with options at number 7. Then that brings us to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, listen, I have to admit I was wrong. I don't think I was fully wrong, but we won't know that right now. On Tyler Shuck, he played very, very well in his rookie season. I still don't think he is going to be an elite quarterback in this league. I think that he is going to be, again, a starter. He's going to be a starter in this league. And at this point, that's what you need for New Orleans because they have several other needs going on their roster. Top needs for the Saints: edge rusher, a wide receiver, running back, defensive line, and cornerback. They've got picks in every round except the 7th. They've got 2 4th-rounders and 2 5th-rounders, though, as well. So what do you do at number 8? Edge rusher, again, if you've got Bailey or Ruben Bane sitting there, take them. Go ahead and grab them at number 8. I think they're both gone by number 8. Wide receiver, I think you got to wait on wide receiver. I think there's too much value at number 8 for some other positions. So, again, if Tate or Tyson are there, go for it. But if they're not there, I'm going to hold off on wide receiver. Running back then becomes a really interesting story, right? Jeremiah Love, can you pair him with Alvin Kamara, who is aging? I love Alvin Kamara, but there needs to be a plan in place, right? And they've got some good guys there on their team that has potential, to be solid with Kamara, so you can survive at running back this year if you're New Orleans without drafting Jeremiah Love. But if you get Jeremiah Love, you have the opportunity to have Alvin Kamara 2.0. I mean, this is a kid who can step in and do everything that Kamara does. And at this point in his career, probably do it better. So I love Jeremiah Love as an option for the Saints. But again, is it the biggest need the Saints have? It's not. So are you drafting for need? Or are you drafting best available player? Kendre Miller and Devin Neal on the roster for New Orleans. So like I said, you can survive at running back next season. So maybe you hold off and go running back later in the draft. Maybe you get a Nick Singleton a little bit later in the draft, 2nd or 3rd round would be an awesome addition to this team also. So there are options there. Defensive line. Listen, top defensive lineman probably available at number 8. So if you're the Saints, you can get your favorite defensive lineman. Now your question might be, well, who is my favorite defensive lineman? Well, they're going to have to figure that out. Peter Woods, not a great season, but a phenomenal player. Caleb Banks is the other option I've got up here in this category of top 10 possible talents. Peter Woods or Caleb Banks, I like. Caden McDonald, some people have that high as well. I have him the next tier down. So I've only got Woods and Banks. But Woods is a clear pick here, a good pick here for New Orleans. And it's not the sexiest pick, but it's a solid pick. So if I'm New Orleans, guessing that Bailey and Bane are off the board, guessing that Tate and Tyson are off the board, I'm basically deciding between Peter Woods and Jeremiah Love. Love's the sexier pick. Woods is probably the better pick at this point at number 8 as well. They also need cornerback, too high for them. You go later on in the draft for cornerbacks. I think 3rd round cornerback for the Saints. So you look at it all. At wide receiver, Chris Olave is pretty much all you've got, in my opinion, at wide receiver right now. So, again, the 2nd round, you can get a guy, maybe a Denzel Boston Falls, Zachariah Branch is there, or someone like that. Brazel from Tennessee. They're going to be options down there in the second round for wide receivers and free agency and trades and all those kinds of things as well. But I think Peter Woods is the right option here at number 8 for the Saints. Jeremiah Love has to be a tempting option here if he's still sitting there at number 8 for the Saints. All right, so that's the Browns, Commanders, and Saints. Drop your opinions, your thoughts. Who do you think they should take? Who do you want them to take if you're a fan of their team? And who did I leave out? Who am I not mentioning for these 3 teams that you say, yeah, obvious, clear fit for you right there? All right, a couple things real quick as we close up. Number 1, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media at Sports Stove, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I admit we don't do a lot on Facebook these days, so Twitter and Instagram is your best bet, but follow us there. And then our sponsors, Righteous Felon Jerky at righteousfelon.com. Listen, if you have to try the bootleg and barbecue. It is the most amazing jerky flavor out there. I love the texture of Righteous Felon. It's phenomenal. It's tender. It's awesome stuff. So check it out, righteousfelon.com. Use that promo code STOVE15. You'll get 15% off your purchase each and every time. All right, next episode, we're talking Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Miami. Wow, 3 teams that should not be picking this high, yet they are. We'll talk about them next time. Make sure you go back and check the previous episodes as well, covering the Raiders, the Jets, the Cardinals, the Titans, and the Giants. And we got plenty of draft stuff coming down the line, so make sure you stay tuned to the Sports Stove Football Show, wherever you listen to podcasts or here on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.